I'm going to send this one to my sisters. Sisters, if a man puts you in a position where you need to chase him, like you didn't initiate anything, but you need to chase him, I want to encourage you as your internet brother to chase your peace instead, because you're going to wish that you had. If you don't chase your peace, that's exactly what you're going to lose chasing the man, especially one that was the one putting forth all the effort. And I don't know how many of y'all ever been in this situation, because there's this new wave of guys that they'll put forth some effort, they'll put forth pressure or whatever you want to call it. They'll make it known that they're interested, that they're attracted. They'll ask for your number. They'll jump in your DM. They'll swipe right or left, whatever it is on Tinder, whatever it is. They'll do all of that stuff. But then once you start letting down your guard, they all of a sudden act like you need to be chasing them. You need to be planning the dates. Like you need to be texting first every morning. Where's my good morning, beautiful? That's how they act. And if you've ever been in a situation, first off, let me know if I'm talking to anybody. Put I down in the chat if you've been in a situation where a guy bothered you. You was minding your business, made himself known and put himself on your radar. But then after a couple of weeks, after a month or two, you start feeling really good, and then he start pulling back. And it started feeling like, damn, if you don't start the conversations, they don't happen. If you don't initiate the text messages, if you don't put it out there that you want to hang out on any particular night outside of going to his house or something like that, it don't happen. Like it's like out of sight, out of mind. You may get 2 words if you're not the one carrying the conversation. You keep the conversations going. Put I down in the chat if you've ever had a guy who got your attention just to waste your time, essentially is what I'm saying. And again, let me make something very clear. I don't believe anybody should be chasing anybody. I know a lot of people say, and I say this too, sperm chases the egg, but we got to evolve from that. We're not sperm and egg anymore. But pursuit, here's what pursuit is. I do believe men should be the pursuant. Call me old school, I'll be that. Call me gender roles or having gender roles. But a man should be the pursuant, but this is what pursuit is. It is a man saying, I'm going to take initiative, I'm going to set the tone, I'm going to make it known what I want. I'm going to be clear about that, but I'm doing it because while getting clear indication that it's received and it's welcome. It's received and it's welcome. There are a lot of women out here who think a man supposed to do this while they're giving zero energy, zero interest, zero reciprocity. That's not pursuing. That is trespassing. It's like if you go to a job and they're hiring, you're pursuing that job. If you go to a job, they're not hiring, they ain't holding no interviews, and you in there just sitting down at somebody else's desk talking about you ready with your resume, they're going to kick you out because you trespassing, okay? But men are supposed to be the pursuers. Now, why do I believe that? Before we can even get to why a man will try to put you in a position where you're chasing him, a lot of these guys anyway, but we first have to understand what I believe is the actual design. Men are initiators naturally. Women are maximizers naturally. Can we do one or the other? Sure. But if you look at even how God made us, he made Adam, then he made Eve, right? He made Adam the initial creation, then he was like, this ain't quite good enough. Yeah, this needs to be better. So what was better? What maximized us in terms of our humans that are on earth to our maximum potential? It was the woman. She was the maximizer, right? So a man is actually supposed to get a situation together, initiate things in his life, show that he has leadership and command over his own life, impose his will on the world, and then invite a woman into that world, and then she maximizes whatever it is that he's already begun. But when we get away from that order, we get with situations like this, where a man will initiate things, but then kind of pull back and expect you to kind of start initiating it. No. And the first reason why a guy will do that is because he's not even over his ex. Y'all will be surprised how many men out here are still hurting over and still grieving over their ex. And the reason why they're still grieving 10 years after the breakup, 15 years after the breakup, is because of that pride. That pride has been suppressing that need for healing for all of those years. So even if he's come across a better woman in you, or at least a better fit for him in you, you're a blur. And that's no indictment on you. A man will come across all these different great women because it's a lot of great women out here. But if he gave his heart to one, he messed that up, and then he gonna leave the broken hearted one. He'll go out here and create more broken hearts because he's not healing the one that he has. As a matter of fact, if you look at a lot of guys' questionable decisions, they almost always can be traced back to some woman that they regret losing. Nobody wants to talk about this though. Especially not men. No, I'm good. Miss one, next 15, one coming. Yeah, but not like the one that you had. You still hurting over that woman. And now you got one that really could be an even better fit for you. But instead of being able to do what you need to do for her, you're just coping. She's your favorite distraction. You're just using her to get away from all of those painful feelings. Because it gives you a hint of what you once upon a time had. That closeness, that connection, that care. Matter of fact, let me put y'all on game. When you're dealing with a guy and he's talking bad about his ex, red flag, run. That we need to make that synonymous. Red flag means run. Red flag, run. Even if she legitimately did him wrong, and I'm gonna tell you why, because a lot of times what he's looking for in you is comfort, but he doesn't tell you the other side of that. He's looking for comfort, but he's also looking for conviction to break that attachment he never broke because he never healed. He never got over that shame and that guilt for what he did, right? So what he'll do is he'll bring you all of this stuff, but what he's looking for is for you to be that girl that gives him a little extra encouragement because he's battling that shame with still not being over her. And this is why you have a lot of guys who will talk bad about their ex and go right back, or talk bad about their ex and still be fooling around with her. Put down in the chat if you've ever seen it. Oh, he talked so bad about his baby mama, so bad about his ex-girl, so bad about his ex-wife, but then he was fooling around with her, whatever. Because yeah, he's still hurting from but he's still also suffering from shame. He still wants the opportunity to make that right. And he's trying to use you and your encouragement and your love as a way to break those ties for him. And that's something that he should have done before he even got with you. But that's one reason why a guy will put you in a position where it feels like you chasing him, because he's not emotionally available. He's not open to you. So he's not giving you like the type of guy that would be open and, you know, be all about you and we want to build a future with you, because he's not in that position. You're a blur. Now, to you, he's a man. To him, you're just a part of his coping mechanism for something he never healed from. And another reason why a guy will put you in a position, even though they get your attention, they'll put you in a position where you feel like you're chasing them, is because you're not, either one, a priority, or two, they don't have capacity. And this doesn't mean he's a bad person. Let me be very clear. I'm telling you things that will equip you to protect your heart, not because it just indicts every man and he's horrible or whatever, but I'm just gonna keep it real with you. A lot of guys don't have relationship as a priority right now, and or they don't have the mental or emotional capacity. Now, much respect to the man that can articulate that and let you know so you can choose what you're going to do about it, because then that puts the ball in your court. And this is where I see a lot of y'all go wrong. You accept those types of terms and conditions of a man who says, hey, look, right now, I'm not with a relationship. I don't have the mental and emotional capacity, but I want companionship. I want sex. I'm still a man. I still got some temporary desires, whatever. And a lot of y'all sign up for that, but you're not built like that. And you ain't got to I don't need you to tell where you stand on this, but a lot of y'all are lovers and you out here trying to move like a savage because you wish you were a savage from the time that you got hurt. You look back in hindsight from some of the people that hurt you and you wish you had just been cold-hearted, iced out, F this, whatever. You look at some of these women who ain't no lovers. Let's be real. All women are not lovers. You look at some of these women and be like, man, she got it so easy. She never gets hurt from a man. She just does what she do and keep it moving. Well, you're not built like that, sweetheart. And that's a good thing. In the right hands. You just have to use discernment. You just have to trust your intuition. You have to get used to longer seasons of singleness so you can get to the person that can handle that correctly. You don't got to get out here accepting things less, because what happens is you're going to get in there thinking, oh, I'm cool with just being a savage. I'm cool with keeping the surface level, just sex, just friendship or whatever. But you're going to apply yourself like the wife that you truly are to somebody who ain't even a boyfriend or ain't even boyfriend material. Automatically, again, I don't even want y'all to identify yourselves here because I don't want to put nobody out, but automatically you're going to be doing things for him that you would do for your husband. And you ain't even going to think about it. You can go to his house and automatically pick up. You're going to go and automatically want to cook something for him. He's sick. You're going to automatically want to take some time off of work to make sure he's straight. Text or whatever. Give him full access to your schedule. You automatically going to want to do that. Whenever he says what he says to you, you automatically going to want to trust that. Because that's what you would do for your husband, because you walking around a whole wife, but giving yourself to somebody who ain't even a boyfriend. So when you're dealing with a guy who doesn't have capacity mentally or emotionally, or it's not a priority to him to even be in a relationship, he's not going to put you on that priority of a relationship, and you're going to be feeling like you have to chase him. When really, you really I don't even want to encourage you to meet him where he's at and match his energy, because I think if you are a lover, then your energy is beautiful. But you need to be able to pull away from that person and go and find somebody who's equally yoked with you on an emotional level. And I'm talking about capacity. Now, one more reason why a guy will put you in a position where you're chasing him or feeling like you have to, even though he initiated everything, is because he's breadcrumbing you. And I've spoken on this lightly, but I really want to go in a little bit here. Because sometimes the breadcrumbing don't happen up front. Actually, most times it doesn't. Most times there's a love bombing. Okay, let me be clear also what I'm talking about. Some of y'all don't know what I mean when I say breadcrumbing. That's basically whenever a guy or a girl or whatever, but a person gives you just enough to keep you hanging on, just enough to keep your interest, just enough where you don't block them, just enough texting back, just enough calls, just enough, hey, let's link up, but never enough to truly satisfy you. That's what breadcrumbing is. And what happens is, a lot of times a guy will start off love bombing you, kind of set the tone that he cannot sustain, and then he starts breadcrumbing, but giving you all of these excuses. And what a guy's doing in this situation, he's either training you or filtering down to you. He's either trying to groom you for a one-sided relationship, or he's filtering down to the woman that he hopes is you, to be right for that one-sided relationship. And this is where a lot of one-sided relationships begin. Put I down in the chat if you've ever been in a relationship where it felt like the whole responsibility of keeping that relationship was on you. To have the hard conversations, to resolve conflict, to truly connect. You know what I'm saying? Like to please each other in the bedroom, not you just getting him off or him, whatever. But like to truly like build something, to start looking at financials, to plan trips, to plan dates. Like, put I down in the chat if you've ever been in a relationship where it felt like the relationship was your job. He just kind of showed up whenever you let him know what to do, if he even showed up. Those start with breadcrumbing. After the love bombing stage is over, some people consider it the honeymoon stage. Okay, cool. Yeah, sometimes it is if it's mutual, but if it's one-sided, it was love bombing. And then after that love bombing, it was breadcrumbing. And that breadcrumbing was the beginning of a one-sided relationship. But because you did not leave, but because you did not say, oh, wait, this got to get corrected right here, right now. I have needs for reciprocity. I have needs for consistency. I have needs for effort. I have needs for more than the bare minimum. Because you didn't make that stand then and draw those lines then and create those boundaries and stand firm on them then and be willing to walk away then, it evolved, or should I say regressed, to a one-sided relationship. And what happens in a one-sided relationship is you lose your side. You win the battle of keeping that man physically present, but you lose the war of yourself and your ability to love yourself or anybody else truly. Because at that point, you're not even loving him no more. At that point, you're feeling a void, and that void is getting worse. That ain't love, that's dependence. That ain't love, that's survival. So when I say like, hey, when a man gets you to thinking that you got to chase him, chase your peace, go the other way. And if a man and your peace ain't in the same place, always choose your peace. Because with an evolved man, he's never going to have you choosing between him and your peace. When you choose an evolved man who's evolved past the stage in his life where he's playing these games or coming in emotionally ignorant to what he's truly ready for, or coming in manipulating because he feels like this is the only way he can be powerful or sufficient as a man is to consume other people and leave a wake of broken hearts behind him. When you get a man that is truly evolved, not only is your peace going to be there with him whenever you're chasing your peace, your greatest potential is going to be there. Your dreams, your purpose, a new level of you that you didn't even know you was capable of because you had not been properly loved before, properly supported, properly invested in. That's what happens when you get with an evolved man. Now, if you're not coming across these evolved men, then what you need to do is enact strategies that already work for women who are positioning themselves for the evolved man by clicking the link right here. Click that link that you see right here. Get access to my free masterclass, Secrets to Making Evolved Men Crave You, where I break down the strategies that have already worked for positioning women for their evolved man. Actually, you need to be positioned for multiple evolved men, but just because he's an evolved man doesn't mean he's right for you, right? But you have to get in position for men who are equally yoked. That's the fix to all of this. The moment that he shows he's not truly equally yoked with you, you need to go the other way. You need to go the other way. All of this, I'm being humble and stuff like, no, you're being irresponsible with your heart. You are. I know you see the good in him, but also see the not good enough in him for you in a romantic relationship. He could be your friend. He could be an Uber driver. He could be for somebody else. You can cheer him on, but he cannot be for you if he is not equally, mentally, physically, spiritually, equally yoked with you. And the moment that he shows that he's not, choose you every single time. Because when you don't choose you, you lose you. But those are just my thoughts. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Again, if you are in the market for an evolved man, do yourself a favor. Get access to my free masterclass, Secrets to Making Evolvement Crave. I pinned it right down here in the comments. It's also in the caption whenever you back out. And share this if you got something from it. If it blessed you, don't be stingy. Bless somebody else on your timeline with this message. Right now, share it. Holla at y'all later. Y'all be good. Peace.